Are you tired of being the victim of right lever attack as black? This aggressive attack can caught you off guard and leave you struggling to defend. However, don't worry, because in this video we will go over the tips and the strategy to help you successfully defend against this attack and turn the table on your opponent. This is how the fried lever is played, and I'll explain how to counter attack the fried lever. Here white plays pawn e4. Black will respond by playing pawn e5. Now white will continue with the development by playing knight f3, trying to attack our pawn right here. So we'll just continue with our development. Knight c6 will protect our pawn. White will continue with the development. They develop their left square bishop. We just continue with our development. We play knight f6. Now we're attacking the pawn right there on e4. So white continue and play g5, knight g5. Now this is the fried lever attack. They are attacking our pawn right with the knight and the bishop. So white here is threatening to capture our pawn with the knight and fork our rook and our queen. This is the fried lever attack position. So in this video I'm going to show you our Traxler counter attack, which we play bishop c5. We play bishop c5. We are threatening to capture with the check. So white will just continue with the play if white is ignorant or if white don't know this variation. So white will just capture our f pawn with the fork. Now they are forking our rook and our queen. We go straight and play bishop f2. We capture the f pawn. Now it's a check. So here white have like two options. White can capture our bishop, or white can just move away from the threat. Okay? So I'll show you all the variation when white captures the bishop or when white move away from the check. The first variation that I'm going to show is when white decide to capture our bishop. Now we play this beautiful move. Knight capture the pawn. We're capturing with the check. Now white has only 6 moves. It's either they can move their queen there, and there. So this square they cannot come because it's covered. So in these 6 moves, white only have 2 good moves that is playable for white. I'm going to show you all the 6 variations when white go to each and every square. The first one, I'll show you when white moves. Okay, let's take this one first. White moves to f3. Now we play this beautiful move, queen check. Now it's a check. We're sacrificing our second piece, which is the knight. So white will capture the knight, and we play this beautiful move, check. This is a check. The squares he has covered. So white have either to play d3 or d5. So if white play d5, it's a checkmate. We just checkmate. So let's go back. White here can play d3. Then we just play check right there on d4. White will retrieve by going back. Then we just capture the bishop with check, and we're also threatening the knight there. It's a check. If they block, we just capture back our 2 pieces that we sacrifice. Now here we are just winning the game because we are threatening a lot of things to do. Now we can cancel kingside and double our, we are just doubling our rook and the queen, or play the move pawn d5, opening for the bishop here, so we can pin the king to the queen and just win the queen. The second variation that we're gonna show is when white play move e1. Here black have to play this beautiful move, queen h4. It's a check, and we're also attacking the bishop on c4 and attacking the knight. So once we move our knight, we're attacking the bishop and the knight. So this one is a check, black, and we're threatening a mate right there. So white can either play pawn g4, g3. So it's trying to block. We go again and sacrifice our second piece. If white captures, we just win the rook, and from here we're winning the game. We have a lot of options we can play, a lot of moves from here, because it's a check and white has only 2 squares to move to. So if maybe they played there, we just come with the if they play here, we just come with the check. We can castle. We have like a lot of options to play on this variation. So from here we are winning. We can see from the bar, black is 5.6 points ahead of white. So black is winning this game. It's easy to win a game for black on this instance. The next variation is when white plays king f1. Here we play our move queen h4. Now we are threatening a checkmate right there, and we are also attacking the bishop when our knight moves, and also attacking the knight if we capture the bishop with a check, né? So here white have like few moves that can play, and I think white have only one have move here that is better, because if white tries to play this move here to protect the square for the checkmate, we just continue developing our knight. Actually we're just adding the attack, and we're just threatening to capture the queen. So I don't think that one is a good move, because we can just chase away the king and win and checkmate the king. So that one is not really a good move. So white here have to play queen e1. Now white is protecting the square and also attacking our queen. So we play our usual move. We sacrifice the knight with check. Now we are forking the king and the rook. So if white just capture our knight with the queen, we capture the bishop with check. Maybe white moves away, and we just pick up the knight there. So let's take a look if white capture with the pawn. If white capture with the pawn, we just take the rook with check. Now we're winning, because we can even castle. When we castle, it's a check. If we castle like kingside, we're just pinning the knight to the king, so the knight won't move. So it's one of the good move. We have this other move where we push the pawn and open for our bishop. Here like black is winning the game. One of the moves that white can play but it doesn't lose immediately is when white play king g1. We as black, we are just playing our move as usual. We play queen h4. Now we're threatening a checkmate right there, the same idea, and we are threatening to capture the bishop right there when we move our knight. So here white can just block with the pawn. We go again and sacrifice our another piece, which is the knight. We capture there. If they capture back, we can't capture the rook because it's protected with the king, as we did on the previous variation. And when we capture the bishop, we don't get to capture the knight because we are not capturing with the check. So right here we take the pawn with check. If pawn moves away from this position, we have to bring our rook into the game. We play rook f8. We're pinning the knight to the king, so the knight cannot move. From here I believe black is winning because this one is more playable for white, for black, because black have a lot of options. We can either push the pawn double, trying to open for a bishop with check right there, or attacking the queen. We just have like a lot of options. I don't think black can win, white can win this position. Even the board right here, even though the board is showing that this position is 0.1 for black, I believe black is winning from this position because the knight cannot move. We can push, try to open for a bishop. We can even like put the knight on d4, adding the attacker, and like the white king is more exposed. Another move that does not lose the game immediately for white is when white plays king e3. Oh man, we just have to capture first. Another move that does not lose the game immediately for white is when white plays king e3. We just continue with our attacking strategy. We play queen h4. We're protecting our knight there. We're threatening a check right there and a check right here. So white can play this best move, pawn g3. We defend the both of the squares. So here the best move for white to play is to sacrifice the knight again. The second piece we capture the pawn. If they capture back, in this instance we don't have to capture back. We can play this beautiful move right here, check. If white moves away, we just take the bishop with check and pick up the knight after the king have moved. Yeah? So what if the king moves here? If the king moves to f3, if the king moves to f3, we play this beautiful move, capture. We play the castling. Now we're pinning the bishop, the knight to the king. So even though it looks dangerous for black, it's not like we're pinned. We're the one who's pinning the white king because the knight cannot move because of check, and we're not in the danger from here. The discovery for white is not that impactful because the knight is also pinned, and we're threatening to capture the bishop in the next move, or play our usual move, the pawn with double push, the d pawn double push, trying to capture the bishop, and also opening for our light square bishop and just picking up the queen there. So that is the second one. I think from this position, even though the computer give it white, but I believe that this one is playable for black, and black is just winning from this position. Even though it's not that simple, but black have sort of advantage on this position. Now that I've shown you guys the 5 variations that white can play from this position, now I'm going to show you the 6th position, which is the best. That's why I save it for the last. It's when white play this move, king e2. From here, as black, we play this beautiful check right here, knight check, knight d4, a check. Here, if a king moves to different square, maybe like this one, we just do what we did from the previous variations. We're threatening the checkmate. There is the same thing. So what if white don't go to f1? Maybe white tries to come upwards. I know this move is strange because king is moving away from the safe position, is coming towards the board. So I know it's a strange move, but from this position we play our move queen h4. From this position we have a lot of moves. We can play this check here, we can sacrifice our rook. But if white plays this mistake by being greedy and trying to capture all the pieces, if white capture our rook, now from this position we have mate in 7, as is shown from the evaluation bar here. Is saying m7, saying we have the mate in maximum of 7 moves. From here, can you please pause the video and try to solve this position? If you are finding this video very useful, please hit the subscribe button and like the video. Take a minute and try to solve this position. Now let's look at the mate in 7 moves. I know most of you guys managed to find the first move because it's quite simple. The first move is to play queen f4, a check. Now we're forcing a king to move this side because this is the only safe square for the king. King will move to d3. From this position we can either play a knight f2. If we play a knight f2, we're forking the queen and the king. So that's another option that we can play. But if we're playing the chess for checkmate, we don't have to try to capture the queen, because there are simple moves that we can win a game. We play this knight here, knight c5, a check. Now we're forcing the king again to move this side. The king will move to this square because it's the only safe square for the king. Now we play this beautiful knight sacrifice. We play knight b5, it's a check. Here the idea is that if white captures with the bishop, we just checkmate right here. This is the checkmate because all the squares are covered. So let's look if white does not capture our knight. If white tries to move this side, we play this beautiful move right here, a check with a pawn. This is a check. From this position, white have 2 options. White can either capture this knight or this knight. If white try to capture this knight there, we play this beautiful move, a check right here with the pawn, d6 check. If the king captures the second knight, then we give this beautiful checkmate right here with the bishop. This one is the checkmate because all the squares are covered. All the squares around the king are covered and the king is threatened. So this one is a beautiful checkmate with the bishop. So what if white captures this knight right here? The king captures there. With this beautiful move again, we just push our c pawn with a check. This one is a check. The only safe square for the king is this one, because if they try to just capture there, then we play this beautiful checkmate right there. This one is a checkmate because all the squares around the king are covered, so they cannot like try to capture our knight. The best move here for white is to come down to the board. Like they can play b6. That's one of the safe square. From this position we play this brilliant move, knight a4, a check. We're forcing our enemy king again to come this side, because all the squares are covered except this one. So the king will come to c7. From this position, I'm sure most of you guys can find this brilliant checkmate. We play this checkmate by playing pawn e4. This one is a checkmate. We discover a checkmate from there. All the squares around the king are covered. We cannot capture they cannot capture the bishop because it's protected by the rook. This is the brilliant checkmate that we can play from this counter attack. I wish we could end our video right here, but we still have one last variation to look at. It's when the king does not capture the bishop. Maybe the king just moved to f1. From this position, we have to save our queen, and the only way to save our queen is to move our queen to e7. Here, obvious white will be greedy and try to capture the rook. They capture our rook. From this position, the good move that we can play is pawn d5. By playing this pawn d5, if white does not be careful here, we can try to trap the queen by playing bishop g4. So if they capture with the light square bishop, we just trap the queen by playing bishop g4. So the best move here for white is if they capture with the pawn. If they capture with the pawn, we just go ahead and try to put our knight into the game by saving it from the threat by the pawn. Here white cannot capture the hanging bishop, because if they capture the hanging bishop, we have this beautiful check right here with the knight. So if they move backward like that way, we have this beautiful move right here. We're threatening to capture the light square bishop, and we're threatening the discover. So we can play this double discover with a checkmate. So white cannot capture our bishop. If they capture our bishop, they just fell into a trap. So let's go back. Yeah, if white does not capture our bishop, white can just play this natural move right here, threatening our knight by pushing a pawn. If they play that move from here, I believe we have like several moves that we can play. The best one we can play is this one, bishop g4. We're threatening to capture the queen, so naturally the queen will just move to a safe square, which is a4. They move to a4 with a check. So from this position, we have like a lot of options to block. We can block with the pawn because we have this square is protected to us, but the best block we can use here is the knight. We use this knight. I'll tell you the reason later why we are playing this knight. We play this knight here with we're blocking the check right there. So the next move for white from this position, I believe white can play like they cannot capture. If they try to capture there, we told you that we can play that discover. So if they capture our knight, we just play this beautiful move, queen f8. Now we are controlling the whole diagonal, and now they can no longer capture our bishop because now it's protected. So the only tricky move for white here that they can play is queen a3. If you're not careful as black here, you can think you're winning and just play this discovery, but it's not that winning because white is threatening our queen. So white can just take our queen, and from there the game can be balanced, or we can lose because we're a lot of piece down. So that's not so. If white plays that move, we have to be extra careful and play this beautiful move right here, f4. From this position, we're just threatening a mate in few moves from Ray. So white cannot try to come and interrupt with this discovery. We're just winning the game. Thank you guys for watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. That's all for today. Peace.